Hello, I'm Anthony Smith, the priest in charge of Bergclear. We all know the saying, actions speak louder than words. But to what extent do we really take it to heart? On this seventh day of Thy Kingdom Come, the passage set for us to look at is from 1 John 3, verses 16 to 18. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. St. James says something similar. He says, suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is that? Some years ago we were travelling home to Milton Keynes, where I lived at the time, and the boys were hungry, so we stopped at Princess Risborough to get some chips. As I was walking down the road to the chip shop, a young lady stopped me and asked me if I would buy a copy of The Big Issue, but I declined. As I came back up the road laden with chips, she asked me again, would I buy The Big Issue, and I said no. By the time I got to the car, I rather regretted my decision, and so I pushed the chips through the window to the boys, and I walked quickly back down the road to find her. But she was nowhere to be seen. She hadn't passed me as I walked down the road, so I walked further down to see if she'd moved to that part of the town. But I couldn't find her anywhere. I don't know what happened to this day, but I do know this. God challenged me that day. I've been so generous to you, he said. Couldn't you afford £1.50 for a copy of The Big Issue? Couldn't you help someone in need? What makes my story worse is that Jesus teaches us that what we do or don't do for others, we do or don't do for him. In the parable of the sheep and goats, they say to the king, Lord, when did we see you naked and clothe you, or hungry and feed you, or in prison and visit you? And he says to them, I tell you the truth, as much as you did it for one of the least of these my brothers, you did it for me. So I want to encourage you as this lockdown goes on, yes, to pray for those you long to see come to Christ, but also to think about what you can do for others to show love in action. Maybe there is someone you haven't spoken to for a while who would love to receive a telephone call from you. Maybe someone who's been isolated or will be feeling lonely at this time. Maybe someone who's elderly or doesn't have a computer and so can't keep in touch that way. Why not give them a call? Can we show our love by doing something positive? Just a little thing, but something that might make all the difference to them. And may the blessing be yours as well.